Let's read from Joe's latest op-ed for the Washington Post titled, "Disregard Trump's Ground Noise, Focus on the Signal." Joe writes this: "During my freshman year on the Hill, I tried to respond to every charge from every article, political cartoon, or editorial page. After one particularly stem-winding speech that I delivered at the Downtown Rotary Club in Pensacola, Florida, three-star Admiral Jack Fetterman took me aside and gently offered advice that I carry with me a quarter-century later. He put his arm around me and said, 'Joe, you have to learn to separate the ground noise from the signal. And here's the secret, son. It's almost always ground noise. It is easy to be blinkered by the ground noise generated from the president's Twitter feed or from his ministers of propaganda or from his quivering quislings on Capitol Hill. It is difficult to brush aside the steady stream of lies and half-truths that insult our intelligence. But the good admiral would tell you that you have no other choice unless you want to fly your fighter jet straight into the side of a mountain. Ignore the ground noise and search for the signal. Instead, the signal is the Mueller report. Read it." Nick, Joe makes a good point that we've made on this show many times, which is to just stay to the facts of the details, and it goes to the John Dean story. If you just focus in on what's inside that report and you call witnesses and have them testify about it, it's probably more effective than calling John Dean to Capitol Hill.
This is a president who specializes in ground noise. It's what he does every day. He creates more and more ground noise. And I think the reason, what was so striking about the Mueller press conference was the realization that simply restating the central findings of his report created a huge news cycle. And it showed that people had not read the report. And many people, strangely enough for us around this table, are not familiar with the basic findings. There is a noise machine out there. And I think you're right that one key task for the Democrats is to get the whole country to look closely at the allegations and decide if they agree with the minority of Democrats right now to move forward with some kind of impeachment proceeding. If they can't get public opinion on their side on that question, there is no future for that process for them.
I was really struck by, and I think we've played it on this show, there was a woman who attended Justin Amash's town hall in Michigan, and she told our colleague Leanne Caldwell that she had no idea there was anything negative towards the president in the Mueller report, and it was because she was watching conservative media. And, you know, our information is so siloed, and that's what's so challenging to break through. And I do think there is still an open question about whether we hear from Mueller himself. That question has not been finally answered quite yet. And I wonder if they're saving simply a dramatic reading of the report for that day, because to a certain extent there might even be value in that, because it could potentially break through the noise of the media environment we're living in.
And the president's counting on his noise to be louder than the signal of that report. Still ahead on Morning Joe, South Bend Mayor and 2020 candidate Pete Buttigieg distances himself from Democrats who pushed former Senator Al Franken to resign. And now another 2020 White House hopeful is responding. Plus, Steve Kornacki, as promised, is here to break down the latest 2020 polling. Morning Joe's back in a moment.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.